Marci, hi, it's Mel. How are you? Welcome to the Mel Robbins Show.
Hi, guys. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Marci.
I understand that the goal here is to get, I would like to see you dating by Valentine's Day. Tell us what happened with the last guy you dated.
Well, it was very brief. We went out twice.
And what happened?
I guess I got, we had a really great time, fun, good communication, attraction. And then I hadn't heard from him for 3 or 4 days, and I was really pissed.
I don't blame you. So hold on, because this is a classic dating scenario.
Yes.
Very classic, where you have great time, you go out on a couple dates, and all of a sudden, boom. What happened, Mars?
I just sent him a nasty email saying he's really
Marci, why did
Trigger
you do
finger.
that?
Come on, Marci.
I didn't want to say
finger.
that. I know.
But it's the truth.
Yeah, don't lie.
I know.
Tell us what's going on.
Well, she
I
did.
was just,
No, I'm
I
just
was
saying. Was it nasty? Was it like I'm going to boil
No,
a
it
rabbit
was-
on your
it was
stove, or?
it was like, well, no, I didn't say, I didn't have a voodoo doll and, put it in boiling water. I just said, it really hurt my feelings, what's going on, all that stuff. And anyway, it ended up that I just said in the email, just call me when you're ready, because it just pissed me off. And then I realized.
Oh, my gosh. So did you call him before you sent the email?
Yeah. But anyway, you know what?
No, of course not.
On another note, Megan actually talked to him, so she could maybe give you his side. But, yeah, I realized that was all wrong.
Marci,
Yes?
everybody in this world wants something that they think they can't have. And the other thing is men don't want high maintenance.
There is a zone period of time where you got to cool your jets and just let the relationship communication pattern. And I think if you work with a model of the first 2 months, there are no rules. I got to chill it out here. I don't know what's going on with this person. I got to stop making single thing they do or don't do mean a huge thing or a bad thing, and just chill with it. What happened in your case is something that happens to you a lot, is that you get kind of worried about something, and so you sent off an email because your feelings were hurt. And that basically tanked everything, right?
Pretty much.
My friend on Twitter, Paisano, wrote us on Twitter and said, Mel, a comic said, women want one man that'll satisfy all of her needs and wants, and men want all women to satisfy their one want and need, which I think is a little bit true. And, the thing about this, Marci, too, is that, what ends up happening is I do think that those first 2 months are a dead zone where the communication rules are kind of out the door. You just are not going to be able to expect somebody to communicate on your timeline until you've established a level of intimacy and and also sort of a momentum to the relationship. And every time I always assume, like even, I'm married, I've been with Christopher now for, 14, 15 years. But every time, even like in a business setting where I assume, oh gosh, I haven't heard from that television producer, oh geez, that company hasn't gotten back to me yet. Whatever it is I'm thinking is going on is never true. So what is it that but see, then what happened is you guys got on the phone, and this is like the next pitfall that everybody falls into in a relationship. And as you listen to Marci tell the story, I know as you listen to this, you can either remember a time when this has happened to you, or you're experiencing it right now, or it just happened to you. So you actually got Nathan on the phone. And what did Nathan say to you?
He misinterpreted stuff I said. I misinterpreted stuff he said or didn't say. And then we ended up speaking for like an hour last night.
Well, that's cool. So, we all agree that you totally screwed up by sending that email and getting all emotional, and that was totally the wrong call.
Yeah, that is clear.
So I actually have a little bit of a surprise because we have Nathan on the phone. Yeah, yes, we do. Nathan, welcome to the Mel Robbins Show. How are you?
Hello.
You two have just done that dating tango that literally every single person at some point in their life runs into. So is it true that you guys had a great first date?
Yeah, absolutely. She's a very, very, very lovely girl. She's very bright. Yeah, it was fun. It was nice.
And then you had a great second date?
Absolutely.
And then what happened?
Well, I'm busy. Unfortunately, I'm up here because I'm taking care of my mother, who is 81 and was sick. So when I first started to talk to Marci, I think I told her why I was up here, and that this was a big responsibility.
Absolutely. You know what's so great about what you're saying is that, what happened between the two of you guys in the stumbling of the beginning of your relationship is what happens to all of us, which is you have a great time, and then one of you, namely Marci, really wanted it to keep on going, and she forgot that where you were right now in your life is your biggest priority, which it should be, is taking care of your mom. So are you interested in a relationship with Marci?
I like Marci. I'm interested in a relationship, and when I meet somebody that I like and that I see potential with, I'm interested in seeing where it goes. And that's I think, I listened a little bit to you guys before as I was making breakfast here, and I don't think that people have a lot of ulterior motives. I mean, some people, as some of your...
There are a lot of dirtbags out there, but I think for the most part, you're right. I think for the most part, we forget that most people would love to be in a great relationship with somebody they find sexy and fun and leading to somewhere committed, and that it takes time to figure that out. And what's difficult for men and women in relationships is there are those moments where you kind of intersect and you're both on the same page, and then the second you're not together, there are conflicting things that pull your attention away from one another. And the dance is about getting on the same page so that there isn't any misunderstanding.
You're never hurt by taking your time. Being patient, taking your time, and I think, as one of you had said, getting to know someone is very valuable.
In talking about this, I see the missteps that were made that are totally normal and completely explainable now that we've unraveled the whole thing. What do you really want, and are you going to pursue this with Marci, or is this spiraling into just a friendship?
No, absolutely not. I like Marci. I think she has a tremendous amount to offer. She's very bright. She's attractive. She's got a nice personality. She's a good person. So absolutely.
Wow.
She and I are going to continue to get to know one another. I don't think there was any fatal issue here.
Well, she's lucky, because most guys would be like, this chick's way too emotional. I'm not dealing with this. Marci.
I'm here.
You are, what did you learn from this whole thing?
I learned that I need Alka-Seltzer for my stomach. No, I can't be so quick and emotional, and I got to just chill.
I do think it's probably a very good rule of thumb. What JB was talking about, and what we've been talking about on this show recently, is this notion of a yellow light. It's like teaching your kids the caution button before you do something stupid that sends you to the principal's office. The caution button before you send that email, that is not going to deliver what you want. But there is a little bit of power in knowing what's going to make you happy. Marci, you're a very alive person, and you need to be with somebody who's also who loves that part of you and brings it out.